Good morning, investor and JMT Network Services Public Company Limited and JMart Public Company Limited, the Stock Exchange of Thailand welcome you all to the SET Digital Roadshow Year-End Performance of 2020. This session will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Presenting company will start the session by 30 minutes presentation, followed by 15 minutes Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your questions in the meeting room chat box or use raise hand function. Then presenting company will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite Khun Panya to start the presentation, please.
Okay, thank you for inviting me and my companies, the JMT Groups and the JMT Network Services to join the SET Digital Roadshow today. We try to have this kind of activity with the Stock Exchange of Thailand as much as possible for give the info or to provide the information to the investor in regarding to the companies. Our company, we have many business under the JMT Group, but I will give you a brief explanation first and then give you an indication and the business target, also including the business plan in 2020 that what we're gonna do in the future and the target of the growth that we will grow this year. And also I will go in detail for the JMT Network Services for the investor that interest in the company. Okay, let's begin first. This is the group of company of the JMT. Okay, under the JMT Group, we have three kinds of business consisting in the group of company. We have a group of retails. We have JMT Mobile, which is sells the mobile phone, gadget, accessory, and we are an exclusive partner for SIM distributor with the AIS. We are a key player of the SIM distributor for the number one telco in Thailand, AIS. Currently, for JMT, we have around 200 shops all nationwide. We sell mainly mobile device, both Android and also the iOS. We sell iPhone as well. Okay, our company last year maybe have a big impact for the government shutdown policy to prevent the outbreak of the COVID-19. But as we focus and try to manage the cost last year, even the COVID situation, we can perform a performance for the subsidiary of this of JMT Mobile to have a net profit at the same level as compared to 2019. The second group of the retail is the JAS asset under the JMT Group. We have a commodity malls. We have a shopping or rental space area under the company that operate the rental area called JAS Asset, which is also a listed company on the Stock Exchange of Thailand as well. And we also have coffee chain shop under the company Beans and Brown. But the branding that we sell in Thailand, we call Hasalapan brand coffee shop. We have around 14 shops, mainly reside in the Bangkok area. Okay? And for JMT, not only we operate the retail, but we also have a focus on the finance as well. Okay? Under the group of finance, we have the biggest company for the debt collection in Thailand. We call JMT Network Services. We have insurance company under the JMT Network Services called JP Insurance, which is operate non-life insurance in Thailand. And recently we just finished a partnership with the biggest credit card company provider in South Korea called KB Kukmin Card that to become a joint venture for the to do the personal loan business in Thailand. And the group of finance, we also have Singer as well. And Singer currently they do high purchase for home appliance and commercial appliance. And also the Singer enter into the new business of the car title loan, and the business is quite performing well last year. Not only retail and finance, we also have a group of technology as well. The group of technology that we set up the company called J Venture. The J Venture is the company that invests in many startup companies in Thailand and also do the digitization of the group of company, because we are well aware that in the future the trend of the technology in the disruption for retail and finance is going to happen quite soon. So we need to prepare all the technologies and also the infrastructure that bring us to another level of the retail and finance. I will show you the details of the business in this regard for the technology that we are preparing to enter for the disruption era. This is the group of company. As I mentioned earlier, we have three kinds of business for JMAT Group. We have retail, we have finance, and we have technologies. Under the JMAT Group, we have 4 listed companies for the group of company. We have JMAT Mobile, we have JMT, we have JAS Asset, we have Singer. We have a joint venture with the biggest credit card in South Korea, and we have a partner in the J Venture from Japan as well. We call that partner is called TIS Inc. from Japan. I will tell you for the detail later. And also we have a coffee shop or coffee chain. For the under of JMart groups, the key driver of the company, we have 2 key drivers. The first driver is we synergy together amongst the company in the group of JMart. So we utilize our group of company, for example, like a distribution network, for example, like service that we can provide to each other to minimize or to optimize the cost to operate for amongst our group of company. So with the power of synergy, we can grow for more than 2. And last year, the JMart Group hit a record high in terms of the performance for the net profit in 2020. This is the key performance highlight in 2020. Last year for JMart, we have a net profit for 738 million Thai baht, which is growth from last year or in 2019 for 49%. Even in COVID, we try to manage the cost, we try to manage the situation and do the business continuity plan so we can survive and make a good return for the shareholders in 2020. The net profit margin for the consolidated group is widened or increased from 2020. It's increased from 4.5% to 6.8% in 2020. And also in terms of the capital structure, the interest-bearing debt, DE ratio is 2.31 times, decreased from 2019. So in terms of the performance growth, in terms of the margin-wise and in terms of the capital structure for JMart Group, we are quite stable and also can maintain a good result in terms of the numbers that we can deliver as according to the target that we commit with the investor. This is the situation on quarterly basis in 2020. I have said that even in the COVID, we can maintain the performance at a good result. And last year, we can grow for 49%. For JMart Group, as I mentioned earlier, we are not just a local company because the investor or the multinational company from foreign has invested and do the collaboration with the JMart. For example, like for JMart, we have a company called, last year we have a company called JFintech. The JFintech engaged the joint venture agreement with the company from South Korea, we call KB Cooking Card, to set up the joint venture, do the personal loan business in Thailand. And right now, they already operate the personal loan license in Thailand called KBJ Capitals. And we have target to lend the monies to the consumers around 2.5 billion this year. And we have a good plan. For example, in 3 years from now, we will start the credit card business in the future as according to the business plan target that we have discussed with the partnership. Not only for the personal loan business that we have the partnership from South Korea, we also have a partnership from Japan as well. The JMart Group, under the JMart Group, we have a company called J Venture. The J Venture is doing the partnership with the company called TIS. TIS is the leading IT service provider, and they invest quite a lot in Southeast Asia. Recently, last year, they acquired a stake in the Grab in Singapore. And also this year, they would like to penetrate for the IT service in Thailand. So they select one of our group of company, the J Venture, to become a partner. The JMart has diluted from 80% to 66% to open the opportunity for TIS to become one of the major shareholders in the J Venture. For JMart Group, as I mentioned earlier, we are not just a local company anymore. So the investor from the big country like South Korea, like Japan, has seen an opportunity to use our ecosystem to expand business in Thailand. We have a strong partnership from South Korea. We have a food technology from Japan. So this is the main platform that we're going to grow in 3 to 5 years in the future to have a return for the shareholders. This is the technologies that I would like to give you an indication for the things that we have been done so far. We are prepared for big data analysis for customer data. Currently, for JMart Group, overall of the JMart Group, we have 6.7 million data ledger that in the group of company. So we can utilize all the benefit and all the marketing strategy that under the regulation to increase our revenues from the big data analysis. We are prepared for the eKYC, e-consent, and e-payment gateway. We are developed internally in terms of the system inside, and also we are one of the leaders in terms of the blockchain technology in Thailand. Right now, we have a decentralized digital lending platform already. We just announced and do the marketing strategy so we can have activity for the digital platform under the digital lending license, under the digital lending platform that we have been developed last year. This is the things that we are prepared for the future for the JMAT groups. This year, not only the things that I have mentioned earlier, we will have a new investment to complete the picture of the JMAT group this year. The new investment that I would like to mention is logistic network. JMAT, as I mentioned earlier, we have a distribution for group of company, almost 7,300 touch points all nationwide in Thailand. We have JMart shop for 2,200 shop located in the Bangkok and upcountry area. We have a branch of Singer, and we target this year to have 7,000 branch in every tambon or ampere in Thailand. We have IT Junction, which is that a rental area for the customer, the small retailer that sells the mobile phone. We have a JMT network services branch all nationwide. Currently, we have 25, but within this year, we target to open up to 50 branch in Thailand. So totaling of the customer touch point that we're gonna have within this year is almost 7,300 branch for the ecosystem of the JMart. The thing is that we trying to utilize all the node that we have planned to cover all the JMart group in Thailand by using or invest in the new company that we are study that engage in the logistic network to connect all the node of the JMart to grow the business further. We can utilize the logistic network to do business more in the future. From our ecosystem, we have JMT, and JMT is the asset management that they can buy a distressed debt from the financial institution. The JMT will provide a good location in terms of the district, in terms of the logistic hub to develop for the JMart with the minimized cost. This is a good combination of the ecosystem that we gonna do within this year, and we trying to start the business of the logistic to link all the network of the JMart within this year. This is the first target that we would like to do in this year. And the second of the new business, we try to have a brokers. The brokers that I have mentioned is not just insurance brokers. We combine insurance brokers and the financial brokers to become an agent to recruit the good customer for our ecosystem. Not only currently we have 6.7 million data ledger for the customer. We trying to expand that to like 10 million data ledger for utilize and to increase more customer base in Thailand. And we use this for the insurance brokers and then supply all the insurance and also the financial service to the consumers. Anyway, for JMart Group, we have number one debt collector in Thailand. The JMT will provide a debt collection business for the finance. This is the ecosystem that we would like to do in this year and in next year. And if it's ready to go listed on the stock exchange of Thailand, we try to do in the future. This is the business for the JMart Group. Okay, you can see that we are not stop the business. even in the COVID, we try to seeking for a new opportunity for the group of company. Okay, I will go to the company that we would like to discuss. The second company, which is also under in the JMT group. As you may know that the JMT quite performing very well last year. The profit growth for the JMT is over 50%. They can grow 53% last year from the results from 2019. I will explain you why they can do the business that can grow like that. Under the JMT group, we conduct the business in relating to the debt management in Thailand. For the JMT, we first business we provide the service of the debt collection to the financial institution, but it account for the revenue only 11% last year. The major business of the JMT is we purchased or we acquired the bad debt from the financial institution. This business is account for the revenue for 83% last year, and 6% the rest of the revenue is go to the insurance and insurance brokers. So this is the combination of the JMT in terms of the business type under the group of JMT. For the JMT, last year they can grow a lot in terms of the second business that I have mentioned, and the second business also provide a best return in terms of the good margin. Last year, the debt acquisition business grew 35%, and total revenue for the JMT is grow for 26%, which is quite stable as compared to last year. And also, we can increase the revenue mainly from the second business that we have a majority net margin on that. This is the situation for the outsourced service. So last year, for the service of the debt collection, we can maintain the revenue last year. We do not have an aggressive policy to acquire to service the debt collection for the financial institution. But for us, we rather to allocate the resource to do the second business. We have a higher yield for buying the bad debt from the financial institution. Okay. The second business that I have mentioned is we buy the bad debt from the financial institution. Currently, we have the accumulated outstanding balance of the debt that we manage in-house is more than 200 billion Thai baht already in terms of the outstanding balance. For JMT, we buy both secure and unsecured loan, but for the proportion for the outstanding balance is still majority to the unsecured loan, which is consists of the credit card loan, personal loan, hire purchase loan. We are keen on do the collection for the unsecured loan because we have a system, we have a manpower, and we have a technology. This is the performance of the cash collection of the JMT last year. Last year, even in the COVID situation, we can perform in terms of the growth of the cash collection. In 2020, we can grow 15% from 2019. The cash collection that we can collect from the customer is around 3.7 billion Thai baht, which is quite impressive in terms of the cash collection. The thing is that for JMT, the strategy of the JMT is to do the cash collection. We do not buy the bad debt and sit and then waiting for sell the property or give an opportunity for consumers to repay. Because the strategy that we do, we try as fast as possible and as much as possible to get the money back from the customer. For example, we have telecollectors. Currently, we have around 2,500 people for the telecollectors that keep calling the consumer every day as according to the law and regulation that allow us to do so. So for us, what methodology that we do the collection is negotiation with the customer. We can vet, and we have a lot of data, and also we try to analyze the customer payment behavior and we try to know the customer when they're ready to pay back the money. It is the key that our staff would need to understand the consumer behavior for really paying back the bad debt for the JMT. This is the This is the statistic that show you for how much we can collect in each year. Okay. Last year for JMT, we acquired bad debt for 3.5 billion Thai baht for the debt acquisition, and we can start to collect for 13%. And total from the investment, we invest so far for 16 billion Thai baht already, and we can get a return in cash for 93%. So every year, if you can look at the yellow bar, every year the ratio is represent the cash collection over the investment that we invest in each year. So we try to update you in every quarter that how much we can get a cash from each portfolio. This is the situation or indication that in each year, if you monitor back to the JMT, each portfolio each year we can increase for the cash collection in every year and every quarter. This is the gross margin. The gross margin for JMT is 70%, which is very high. And we can widen the gross margin last year because we utilize the technology like big data and also the collection technology, telecall technology to implement in our system. So that's why we can slow down the increasing of the number of the staff for the JMT last year. So the direct cost in relating to the collection is decreased and it widened the gross margin last year. For SG&A, for the selling admin expense, we can maintain it around 20%. Because what strategy that we do, we are monitor in every month for the percentage of the SG&A to sales. If the percentage of SG&A to sales is over the target that we target, we try to manage the cost down to in line with the target that we set at the beginning of the year. This is the way of the JMT that doing the business in the operations. For JMT, like I mentioned, we have gross margin for 70%, and we have SG&A for around 20%. The net margin for JMT last year is around 35%. This is quite good company in terms of the net margin. Last year, we can achieve a high record high in terms of the net profit. We can surpass the resistant level for 1 billion net profit margin. And this year, we are quite confident that we can grow more than this level for 30% for sure. For 2021, the pattern of the profit is similar to the previous year because the fully amortized portfolios that we're gonna have this year is around 6 to 10 billion Thai baht. That's why this is the growth driver of the JMT in 2021. Okay, so this is the trend of the fully amortized portfolio. If anyone didn't have any background on the fully amortized portfolio, the fully amortized portfolio is that the portfolio that have been fully amortized the investment value already. If you can collect that cash collection from that portfolio, it can return into the net profit margin. This is the concept that I have been explained so far for the investor. Okay, this is the insurance business under the JMT. The insurance company is will return to become a net profit this year. Last year we had, as I mentioned earlier, that we have an improving result of the JP Insurance because we're trying to manage the portfolio of insurance. If you look at down below of this line, you can see that the proportion of the motor insurance is really slow down as compared to 2019. We have only 64% for the portfolio that be motor insurance, which is higher loss ratio as compared to non-motors. And we try to increase the non-motor insurance, which is lower loss ratio. So this year, I would expect that the JP Insurance will turn to be profit for sure for 2021. This is the target of JMT this year. We target to buy or to acquire the bad debt for at least, we set up the budget around 6 billion Thai baht to acquire the bad debt from the financial institution. We have seen an opportunity from the markets because, as you may know, that the situation of the COVID-19 have impact for the Thai economy, like other countries, and also the Bank of Thailand has issued a numerous of the remedy policy to help the debtor to pay back the debt that they have. But for sure, I think there is the people that will have a problem for sure because especially for those who work in the hotel sector and also the sector that have hit by the COVID situation, they need to leave out their job so they cannot repay back the money as according to the bank setup. So I think that we will have a huge influx of the NPL for sure, especially for the rest of the year. So it's open for the JMT to acquire a new bad debt under to manage for the JMT in the future. This is the overall situation for the group of JMT and JMT. Okay, I will give this 10 minutes before 10 to become a Q&A session. So you can ask me if you would like to ask anything in the company. Okay, so you can chat or you can raise up your hand and then speak.
Hi, Kumpanya, thank you. Just quickly on, we saw the net margin really improve in the last 2 quarters of last year. Can you just walk us through, what changed in the business in the second half? Was it just, kind of closing deals and then fruition, but really what was that inflection in the second half that you saw?
So, as we mentioned, the margin improved due to the first thing is the fundamental that we changed or we upgrade the operation to input more technology inside, like telecollectors, like auto dial, like the data analytics. So in terms of the operation wise, in terms of the gross margin is improved from that regards. And also in the second half of 2020, the portfolio we had an size of the portfolio that become a fully amortized increase in the second half of the year. So that's why the revenue that come from the fully amortized portfolio has been increasing quite a lot, because if we can collect from that portfolio, we can realize that as a revenue 100% as according to the accounting methodologies.
On that second part, was that something specific to maybe last year you were able to go back, people had a little bit more, weren't spending as much, and then you're able to collect back, some very old debts? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that something that's sustainable going forward? Or if you can give us more color on those last quarters,
Okay, so I think the pattern of the earning growth of the JMT is quite similar to last year. So the majorities or the earning growth will jump in the third and fourth quarters, and the first quarters due to the as I mentioned earlier, we gonna have a portfolio that become a fully amortized, and during the that portfolio will fully amortize, the revenues that we can realize from that portfolio is very little as because due to the IRR table. So the earning growth in the first quarter and the second quarters would be a bit lower as compared to the third quarters and the fourth quarter this year. And we expect the trend is going forward from last year, because for JMT, in terms of we manage the portfolio, we can relocate it to do or squeeze the cash collection for the debtor in terms of the business and also the economy wise in Thailand. I think the situation is quite improved. The government is reduce the COVID preventing measure for the customer, and also we in Thailand we will start to have a vaccine for COVID. So this situation will bring the economy back to normal quite soon this year. So that's why we expect the trend of the cash collection is going forward this year. So any question? 8 minutes left.
Hi, sorry that I don't understand the industry too well, but for debt collection, I understand it normally in most countries is competitive bidding. So given that your returns are so good, and you can realize so much of your bad debt collection, isn't it going to be more and more competitive, or even the financial institution, they would ask maybe a higher price from you, so that because your margin is just fantastic? Can you comment on that?
Okay. The first thing, actually, when we go into bidding the bad debt from the financial institution, the process is the bidding process. So there is another ANC or asset management company that submit the price to the financial institution and they consider for the price and the qualities that we provide or even because even we buy that debt from the bank, they are quite seriously concerned for the reputation of the service for the debt collection to consumers. So there's two factors that they consider. Is the first one is the pricing, and the second one is the reputation after we transfer the bad debt to the JMT. In terms of the reputation, we have a very few cases that have blamed by the customer, and also the pricing that we price to them is as according to the return or the potential that we can get a cash collection for them. For us, we calculate the internal rate of returns before we submit the bidding price to them. We have a sensitivity how much we can raise up the price and not hurt up the target returns. So in terms of the raising price, I would say that supply is quite plenty in this trade debt in Thailand. What we offer to them is the reasonable price based on the target return that we would require for the operation or for the shareholders. So I would say that they usually people that sell things, they would like to sell expensive, but for us, we have a reason to answer them why we cannot over that. If we can raise the price to that level, our return is not reached to the target, so we deny to take it, and they still keep it in the portfolio, or others AMC get this. But for us, if they raise the price to over, it's not yield for us. I would say they cannot yield for the other AMC. This is the experience that we supply. And also in Thailand, we have an AMC competitors. There is a lot of the AMC, but the competitors, as compared to the JMT, they have quite small in terms of the capital to acquire the bad debts from the financial institution. So for us, we have system, we have manpower, and we have enough capital expenditure because we are listed company. We can issue debenture, we can raise the fundraising to capital markets. So that's why we are one of the biggest in terms of the debt acquisition in Thailand, mainly for the unsecured loan in Thailand. So the JMT is quite big enough to have a negotiate with the bank, but for us, we negotiate with them in a reasonable way because we would like to become a partner with them for the debt acquisition for long term. This is the answer.
And then for your joint venture with KB to provide unsecured loan, isn't that in competition with Singer Thailand?
Well, actually, the target group is different. For the KBJ Capitals, that the joint venture with the KB Mincard, they select the, I would say the person who have a salary, I mean the money salary, so to lending the money. For Singer, this is the customer that do not have a regular salary, and they can do the high purchase to the farmer or to the others customer that do not have with the customer of the KBJ Capitals. And not only for lending, the KBJ Capital is set up to connect the ecosystem to JMT as well, because if the KBJ lending the money and there is the NPL, the JMT can buy the bad debt from them in the future. This is the ecosystem that we set up for the future.
Understand, yeah. But the existing player like Aeon, Tana, and quite a few guys are already very established in this segment. Do you think that you could make headway on it?
Okay. The first thing is that in Thailand, due to our marketing strategy, we will use more digital way and use more and have customer target for KBJ Capital is the young generation, and we will use the marketing style in terms of the K-pop and K-culture to do more well known in terms of branding for the KBJ Capital in Thailand. So in Thailand, there is a lot of quite popularity for the K-pop style in Thailand. We will use that as a marketing strategy, and also in terms of the expansion, due to our partner is the biggest bank, one of the biggest bank in South Korea. So the cost of fund that they can supply to the KBJ Capital is quite competitive as compared to other competitors.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I'm just quite curious in terms of your operational metrics. How do we compare with our competition or peers? For instance, maybe in terms of the collection efficiency, or maybe for per dollar of outstanding balance that you get, how much of it can you actually recover versus your peers?
Okay. So if you would like to do that, you can look over for the cash collection and you compare with cash collection with the investment that they invest. This is one of the key indicators, and we also provide this as well. And you can compare with other peers for the listed ANC in Thailand. This one is one of the methodologies. And also you can compare in terms of the margin wise of the company amongst the ANC. I think this is the two key metrics that you can compare with the peer of the ANC.
So when we look at this slide that you're showing, the investment is the money that we use to buy that year, right? Does it does it reflect the vintage for like 2014?
Reflect what?
Like when it says 1613 million baht for 2014, so that's the cash that you use to purchase 2014, and the one that is collected as a percentage is for the 2014 portfolio. How much have you collected versus 1613 that you spent? Correct?
Yes, this one is the investment in that year in 2014, and this figure is represent the money that we can get over 1613.
And that, sorry, just to clarify, and that number that you collect only pertains to that 1613 portfolio over the next few years, correct?
Is this the accumulated cash collection? So that's what I mean is that we start to purchase in 2014, and from 2014 until now, how much we can collect cash from over 1613.
Thank you. That's very clear.
Okay. So I think it would be an end of session. So thank you for everyone to join this session, and thank you for Stock Exchange of Thailand for inviting JMT and JMT to join the roadshow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter ค่ะ Have a good day ค่ะ
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you